and now freelancing for Watchdog Institute and ProPublica, and teaching at Point Loma Nazarene University as a car instructor. So computer-assisted reporting is, I love the title of this session because I don't think anyone assumes that it sounds easy. I don't know, but it's complex and it's grown exponentially in the last year, 18 months. So car, how many of you, now's time for my poll. So like, how many of you have used a spreadsheet, for instance, to write a story? Okay, so several of you. Excellent. How many of you used a database, like Access? Right on. So why are you in this class? Cool. So Brant Houston, who is before he left NICAR, was kind of like, his book was, oh, I do have my screen. Now if I could just get my programs to come up. All right, so that might take a minute. Actually, I think the problem is that it, I usually work off of a double monitor, and so anyway, I have to do that. So, so CAR initially was developed in the 1970s by a guy named Philip Meyer from the University of North Carolina, and he had this. I think he liked to just tinker with computers on the side. He was a reporter, and he realized that he could harness a computer to do a lot of just repetitive work that would take him hours and hours to do. And so he also wanted to work with statistics to do more advanced statistical analysis. And so the old calculator wasn't going to cut it. And so he dove in and used, at the time, that's when computers were like the size of refrigerators. And he used one of those to do a story that would rely heavily on statistical analysis. So go forward into the 1990s, and people like Brant Houston and Steve Weinberg, investigative reporter, are now harnessing CAR to do, geez Louise, if any of you recognize this is a UT computer. Anyway, so actually in the 1980s, I should back up, in '88, a guy by the name of Bill Dedman. Do you guys know Bill Dedman? He wrote the first story that used CAR and won a Pulitzer. Okay, so that was kind of really altered computer-assisted reporting and investigative journalism, because now people were like, okay, that's legitimate. That's not just like for super geeks. I need to be tapping into that. And now, what I kind of call CAR 2.0 has developed, where folks are relying heavily on web tools and data visualization. And so I'm going to take you through the most basic tools. I'm going to demo them as fast as I can. An hour is a crazy little amount of time to do this, but I'm going to do it and leave time for questions. But the three most important tools, according to the CAR Titans: Internet, Excel, and Access. Okay? Now there are open source tools now, but they're not that good. I mean, honestly, I'm just, I'm kind of a little bit of, a little bit spoiled by what I do have access to. You can use them, but they're slow. You can use Google spreadsheets, but it's slow. It would not work on deadline. There's another issue with Macs. Macs don't do databasing unless you do something called Bootcamp or Parallels, and you do you partition your setup so that you can actually run PC and Microsoft programs. There is an Excel for Mac, but it's not very good. It's not as good as the MS program. And also, there was a point where it was making math errors. So what's the point of using Excel to make math errors? Nothing against Macs, but primarily car is done with PCs. So those are the basic tools. Beyond that, there are mapping tools, like the biggest being in the industry is ArcGIS, which is put out by a company called Esri, ESRI. And then there's something called SPSS, the Statistical Program for the Social Sciences. And then you even get into, like I said, the visual, the interactives. And so I'm just going to show you some examples of those tools being used and what the stories ended up looking like. And then I'm going to try and demo for you Excel and Access. So, and just show you, take a data set, and in 10 minutes, like, okay, you won't necessarily be able to produce this, but you'll be able to see like a story just appear, because I'll do some analysis really quick. So, what is it already? Is it 10? I can't see my thing. Is it 10 or 11:10 or 11:14 already?
11:14.
Okay, cool. So I just have to do one little thing so I can see what I'm doing over here. So just bear with me a sec. This will save lots and lots of time.